While English plurals are relatively straightforward, there are many ways to make a word plural in Arabic. You should take the time to learn the plural of any new words when you learn the singular form, so that way you don't end up saying walid, wa walid, because you didn't know that boys is iwalad, a broken plural, which we will talk about in a second. Memorizing plurals with each new noun will also help you better understand the patterns, and you'll be surprised at how intuitively you can figure out a new plural once you get the hang of this system and have built your vocabulary. Plural nouns are constructed based on more than 10 regular patterns, but we're going to look at just a few. We'll start with the different types of plurals for groups of humans, or people. Sound patterns require a suffix, which is an ending, and they are relatively straightforward because the word itself remains pretty much the same. It is sound, as in strong or unchanged, while the broken plural involves breaking the word apart and adding, deleting, or changing long vowels, like you saw with iwalad. Broken plurals can be tricky, but you'll get the hang of it. Let's start with the sound masculine human plurals. These are the plurals you will use to refer to national groups, like Palestinian, al-Filistiniyin, or for groups of people that include at least one man, like teachers, mu'allimin. A single man trumps a room full of women, so if you have a whole bunch of women and one man, it still gets a masculine ending when referring to the group. The masculine human plurals get an "een" or an "un" suffix in fusha. "Un" if it's the subject, the idea of a sentence or a clause, and "een" if it's an object, what the action is happening to, or if it follows a preposition. This would be "imrikiyun" to refer to Americans, or "ma imrikiyin" if you are referring to doing something with Americans. In Shami and the other spoken dialects, the "een" ending is used for everything, so this is the one you will be using most often, imrikiyin. Keep in mind that whenever you are using an adjective to describe a group of people, it needs to be the plural form of the adjective. The sound feminine human plural gets the "at" ending. This is used to describe groups of women that contain no men. If there's a man, then it gets a masculine ending, because one man ruins everything for women. You will see the feminine ending again when we look at non-human plurals, but first let's take a look at some feminine human plurals. You have bint, girl, which is banat, girls. Taliba, students, female. Talibat, a group of female students. Ukt, sister, or ikhwat, sisters. That last one's a little tricky, but it still gets the suffix. You see it, right? This is where things start to get tricky. Broken plurals are the most common, but they're also the most difficult to master because they feel like they don't follow a pattern. This is why it's important to remember the plurals when you learn new words. Trust me. Broken plurals involve adding or moving long vowels in the middle of a word. They break the word up, remember? So let's take a look at some broken human plurals. You may notice that all of these are referring to men. We saw some of the regular masculine endings, the "eens," referring to nationalities or national groups, as well as some professions, but a lot of groups of men don't follow this pattern. They instead use broken plurals. So, rajul becomes rijal. Here you have a change in the short vowel of the re, and then you're putting an aleph in the third position. Talib becomes tulab. Again, change in the short vowel, and the lam and the aleph switch spots. You also have which becomes ikhwa if you're talking about brothers. Remember the plural for sisters? Ikhwat. Same idea, a little bit broken because you're adding the wow in the third position, but you still have the "at" ending in the feminine. So ikhwa, brothers, ikhwat, sisters. There is one other weird broken plural that you need to be particularly aware of. That's the nisba for Arabs. This is considered a broken plural because the ya is deleted. So to refer to Arabs, you don't use the masculine een ending like as in imrikiin. You drop the ya and instead say Arab. Easy enough to remember, right?